Today is New Year's Day. I'm still feeling a little gross from the party last night. And I just wanted to share a bit about my year. I literally just got home from the beach, so I'm filming a little later than I normally do, so I have a ring light, a bit of a different setup. I'm taking this Christmas tree down when we're done. I don't really want to, but makes it more special for next year. So every year something I like to do is to grab my planner, which I always get from Bespoke Letterpress. It's just like a normal diary, but at the back of it they have a whole section called Year in Review. It starts here and it says reflection, and it goes on to ask lots of really deep questions. I wrote them down in my diary instead because I had a lot more than these little spaces to write. Normally I write it straight in, but I thought I would talk about them here. So these are my year in review questions and answers for 2021 going in to 2022. Someone you really enjoyed spending time with this year. That would be my friends Ebony Lynch and Elena Dafter, who I was with all of yesterday and today. What relationship was the biggest positive surprise this year? Honestly, it shouldn't be surprising, but I found my relationship with God surprised me this year because it grew so much and it had a really positive impact just like during the season with everything going on. Yeah, I shouldn't be surprised, but I was really surprised that I had so much room to grow in my relationship with him, and I guess I'll continue to. I'd be concerned if I wasn't growing in that relationship. This year I broke out of my comfort zone by I started a master's degree. I never thought I would. I never thought I was, I don't know, driven enough, but it just kind of happened and I'm here doing my master's in marketing. I also made some really big, difficult life decisions about like the trajectory of my life, and in my relationship with my fiance Charles, I just, it was just big decisions, adult decisions. That was definitely out of my comfort zone. What did you change your mind about this year? Yeah. My consumer mindset completely changed. I think, we're always very aware of, well, we should be very aware of the state of our planet and the climate crisis, but just a lot of things very strongly convicted me. It was just like a raising of awareness of things. I always knew about sweatshops, but I just went past being naive and went past being ignorant and learnt more about these things, and I just want to consume more ethically and sustainably and not partake or help industries thrive that are toxic and cruel and inhumane and bad for our planet. That is just a really strong conviction that has been laid in my heart this year. It says, what was your favorite purchase this year and why? I can show you. Give me a second. Woo! This is my Bowen yoga mat, and it was a little pricey, just beautiful, and I love it because it's made out of 100% recycled rubber. It's got micro suede on here, so it's just really soft. It was limited edition. It's called the Rose, and it's by a local Australian artist, I think. Pretty sure it was done by an Australian artist. But it's just so beautiful. And we have a cat. Every yoga mat I have had since I was 12 has been destroyed by a pet some way or another. Like my family cat Snowblink just tore them to shreds, and Rosie, our cat, has tried and it's just not given to her. It's really durable and I love it so much. The scariest thing I went through this year, that would be probably my mother's, that would probably be my mother's heart attack, her getting sick in general. It was just a bit of a wake-up call, honestly, just with how life is just not permanent and you can't plan for anything. What skill have you gained confidence in this year? Like, is studying or understanding a skill? Because I feel like I finally honed into that, and I finally worked out how to be really driven and try really hard. Like, I've obviously I've graduated like 2 undergraduate degrees, and I've worked decently, but I've never like put in a lot of effort to do so. And I feel like that love of learning is finally growing in me. So I would call that a talent that I'm finally like getting better at. Because yeah, I just have never been, oh no, that's not true. Like, I have a love of learning, but you know, that drive, the drive and the commitment and like intentional longing and ability to study is finally just working out in me. Yeah, and also like when you're doing your masters, I'm actually going to go and work in this area, so I really do need to remember all the content for work, for my life outside of uni, and I can actually see that and I see the purpose in it, so that has really helped. My best memory of this year was actually Hillsong Church's Christmas carols. I took my 3 cousins, Layla, Ben and Toby, and it was just amazing. The singing was amazing. They used to call it Christmas Spectacular. This year it was called Simply Christmas, because the message behind Christmas is quite simple. But oh, there was a little fair they set up with all these rides for like after and before. There were an amazing like walk through Christmas light display on the campus. It was just so truly amazing. And after lockdown and everything, it was so joyous to see my cousins so happy, and just in awe at the talent of the artists that performed there. It was really quite cute, and Charles went with us. Yeah, that was my favorite memory of the year. It's typical that it just happens. A big mistake I made this year was assuming that 2020 would be the worst of COVID. I just assumed that we were coming into it and then that was going to be it, that, you know, there was some sort of permanence in my plans, and that like our wedding wouldn't be cancelled or postponed, which it has been. I just assumed that by August 2021, which is when we were meant to get married, everything would be fine. But I think I've learnt my lesson there. I've learnt that, you know, like I said before, you can't, you can try to control things in your life, and obviously we work to have some sort of jurisdiction over our life and the life we want and our best lives, but things just happen, like, you know. Sometimes things just happen and things don't go to plan, and you have to learn how not to hold onto things so tightly. And that's something I've learned, is to just like let go of those things and let things happen naturally and organically, because they can just be taken away from you. My favorite book this year, I can't believe I'm going to admit this, but it was a book called Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. It is very smutty, so I didn't expect that. I don't particularly appreciate lots of sex scenes in my books like every 3 seconds, but I love the story. I fell in love with Miles. I don't know, it's not like it was amazing writing or anything, but I heard really good things about it. I read it and I have thought about it a lot. Not the sex scenes, the story, like the plot. The plot was actually really good. What was an unexpected obstacle of 2021 for me? The lockdown. They're like, I think 3 or 4, who knows how long we're in lockdown. That was just, like I said before, very unexpected. The border closures, I've talked about it before on my channel. My dad lives in Western Australia, and I think his name's Mark McGowan, the Premier of Western Australia. He just won't let anyone in. I don't know. I haven't seen my dad since the start of 2021, like February. So I've almost not seen my dad for a year. And I don't know if he'll be coming back for the wedding, because they may not let him back in. That's something like, you know, grow up, you expect your dad there. And I know a lot of people aren't fortunate enough to even have their dad. But I don't know. I just never expected that would be a problem. If you could travel back to the beginning of 2021, what advice would you give your younger self? It would be elope immediately while you still can. It would be that, like, our wedding is about Charles and I and God. No one else, nothing else matters. You don't need to do things because you think you need to do them or you have an obligation to do them. You don't need to invite people because you feel like you have to. You don't have to do anything. Your wedding is not about it. It's not about the party. It's about your commitment and your vows to each other, to love each other, even when it's hard and even when you may not want to, you know. I could definitely tell myself that, because you know, it's a growing process. The nicest thing someone did for me this year was my friends just being there, but also knowing when to leave me alone. I really need my time, and I said that. I was just like, guys, look, Mom's sick, I need to take care of her. I can't be my best like friendship version of myself. I need you guys to understand that I just can't be there all the time, and I just need my space. So I think it's important to be honest with your friends and even family sometimes when you need space. And I am really grateful that they were nice enough and loving and understanding enough to give me that space and like pray over the situation and just be ready to help in any way possible. What was the greatest personal change from January to December this year? I've kind of come full circle the last 2 years actually, from being like really happy, like my favorite version of myself, fully in love, to very sick, and a lot of just uncontrollable, unprecedented things happening for everyone. But then the start of this year was like kind of the middle point where I was just starting to get my energy back, and now I'm finally feeling like myself. I'm finally having emotions. I went through a whole, whoa, excuse you, annoying motorbike. I went through a whole period where I just felt very numb and a bit like dust, because I used to be a very passionate person. I used to have really strong convictions. I used to care about things, and that all just kind of was just nullified because I was sick and I was tired, and I'm finally, you know, feeling that fire inside me again. So that's the biggest change, is I feel myself again. My 3 top New Year's resolutions. My first one is health, and always spiritual health, physical health, mental health, financial health. I just want to be healthy, and it is like my word of the year is literally just health. And I'm going to focus on all aspects of health, the health of like my relationships and my family. I just want everything. I have a deep longing for everything to be fit, and functioning. At least functioning would be lovely, but I would love to be healthy. You know, health is, it's like a hashtag, health is wealth, but health is really important, and health is a privilege, and I don't want to like ignore that. I want to really invest in health. With the financial side, I want to build and bolster our savings and like build our home deposit, because we want to buy a house in the next couple of years. The third New Year's resolution I have is not to rush our first year of marriage. I really want to cherish it and take our time with it. We talk about a lot that we just, even though our engagement period has been really long, it's all kind of been like a blur. So I really want to cherish our first year of marriage and work on our relationship and make it really strong and continue that throughout our marriage life. I'm really excited for that. I also just want to like dwell in like the simplicity and the mundane parts of marriage. I just don't want to rush through it. I don't want to blink, and I know I will blink and it will be over, but I don't want to not have spent time cultivating our relationship and our marriage. And next year I promise that I will be consistent. Hopefully. My aim is to be consistent everywhere. So I'll see you guys around, and I'll see you hopefully consistently throughout 2022. Happy New Year! I hope you have had a great time wherever you are in the world, whether you had fireworks or not, whatever traditions or cultures you are from. I wish everyone and pray that you will all have an amazing year to come. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you know when I post a new video. But until then, bye!